Guys, I am doing an impromptu, not really for you guys, but for me, an impromptu trip to go to the movies to go see Boar. I am assuming that some of you guys might not know about this film, and tell me wrong if I'm making an ass out of you and me, but I'm assuming a lot of people don't know about this because it is kind of like an indie Australian film about a boar. The great thing about this film is it does star John Jarratt, which we all love from Wolf Creek. I also saw as well for this film, it does star a national treasure, Ernie Dingo. If you guys aren't Australian, you won't know the love we have for Ernie Dingo down here. I'm very excited to see this film, only because it will be a really cool kind of ode to Australian films. I assume it will kind of relate to Razorback, which is a huge dent in our horror history in Australia. It is a movie from the 80s about a razorback, aka kind of a boar. So this film, Boar, I'm actually going to tell you what it's about, just because I feel like we can't really ruin, I don't think there's going to be a deep storyline. I hope I'm completely wrong, but I really don't think that that's going to be this kind of film. I think this kind of film is just going to be all fun and all kind of outback action, which I'm all for. I love Razorback. I had to watch this film in film school, and I love like the animatronics behind it, and I just think it's fucking cool. I love that kind of kitschy stuff, so I'm very excited to see what they do with this film. Boar is a film about the beautiful yet harsh Australian outback, where a beast lurks, an animal of staggering size with ruthless and driving need for blood and destruction. It cares for no one and defends its territory with brutal force and kills with raw animalistic savagery unlike any have seen before. I am not a huge monster movie kind of gal. I love the Universal monsters. I mean, there's definitely some outstanding monster movies that we all love, but I kind of steer away from them, not intentionally. I just draw my love of horror to other things. So this is going to be really out of my box, but also really in it because it's Australian. So let's stop the blabber and let's actually go check out Boar. I'm very excited to show you guys what I think of this film. Let's go. Hi guys, I just finished watching Boar. That film was both good and bad, like really good and really bad. And I am split down the middle. The film is definitely, I mean, what we all expected, a film about a boar in the outback, and just a couple of characters, like a family, and it's kind of, because it's in a rural town, it's got to do with the characters around there, but it's nothing in depth at all. It's nothing really to do with the relationships between the characters, so there's no main plot points that I really want to touch on, just that there's, you know, a woman who owns a pub, and then there's a family that's like come into the town, and it's kind of about their journey, but it really doesn't matter that they're not from the town. Like, there's nothing weird that happens. It's just the boar on his way, or his or she's way, through its path. I don't know, it was weird in that respect. Let's talk about the good stuff first. I really liked the characters, and the dialogue was really interesting. If you are not Australian and you have trouble, I know a lot of people say they have trouble, like, with me speaking, so you will not like this film. This film will make no fucking sense to you. Also, what a lot of people say is I swear a lot. This film, every second word, swear, curse, what you guys say, but, you know, in Australia, that's actually how we speak. I felt like the dialogue was very true to Australian lingo, Australian speak, so I thought that was really cool, and it's really cool to see a film that was kind of made by Australians for Australians, but in the same breath, I do want to say that there was a little bit of homophobia and sexism in that. Obviously, I fucking don't condone that, but in the context of how Australians actually are, and really depicting what Australians speak like, it made sense. Not saying that it definitely could have been missed and completely taken out there. I felt like it does come around with the women aspect, because they really do use a lot of hateful kind of sayings and things like that. But I think in a way, it's better that they actually showed what it's actually like instead of sugarcoating it. Not that it's right at all. My favorite characters by far was the family. I thought that they were really fun and they definitely went for it. Like, if you are not into gross jokes, or I don't know, if you get offended by a lot of swear words and cursing and sexual jokes, you probably won't like this film. They do really take it to the next level, and that's what Australians are quite good at. So I thought it was funny, and everyone in the cinema was laughing. I really liked Ernie Dingo's character though. I think he had the best lines and the best parts in this film. And again, if you're not Australian, you might not understand his parts as well. But I did think it was really, really interesting and funny, and I liked how they took the piss out of stuff, which, if you don't know, that means made fun of. See, I'm already getting back to like my Australian roots. Let's talk about the bad stuff. The Boar. Also, John Jarratt's character, I didn't really like his parts in this film. He has like a big part, obviously, with the Boar. We know they're gonna meet at one point, that's not a spoiler, and I felt really bored by that, and I was really saddened. I felt like his part in the film wasn't as great as I expected it to be, and I looked around and a couple of people were on their phones, so yeah, I was kind of saddened, and the film kind of lost me there for a little bit, but then I got back into it when we went back to the family storyline. That was interesting for me. Also, I did pick up a weird, I mean, the film was cheesy as fuck. It's about a boar, you know? The title at the start is cheesy. Everything is very cheesy. But I did pick up something weird that was happening with almost like the exposure. Kind of like this, or the blues in the black. So like if it was dark and it was very blue, it would kind of get this grain, not film, but like grainy, strange look on it, like it was overexposed or underexposed. The exposure was wrong. And that really was weird. Also, the aspect ratio was a little bit out on the cinema we saw it at, but that could just be that version. So a couple of weird things were off. It really confused me. Also, I felt like the arc of the story, just because I said half is good and half is bad, it really felt like something was missing and it was lacking something, especially because you were like in it, out of it, in it, out of it, so you weren't really sure where the storyline was going, so the arc really wasn't existent. So that was kind of like a fail for me. But if you do want to watch a film that has a lot of Aussie humour, a lot of banter, a lot of banter, and good banter, this film is definitely for you. I would recommend probably waiting until it's out on VOD or DVD. It doesn't really need the big screen. It's more of like a fun friend, like a movie to watch with your friends. I wouldn't say it's a great film by any means. And of course, the last thing you guys are definitely wondering about is the animatronics, the way the boar looked. I thought it was fucking sick. I love that kind of stuff. I love when they build a character and they like really build a creature like that, and I thought that that was awesome. They did that really well, but they do use CGI as the boar in parts of it, and it really sucks. It was really bad, but I really liked what they did with the way he moved and all that kind of stuff when they were actually using the animatronics. It was definitely noticeable. It's not meant to be realistic at all. This is a cheese fest, and in saying that, I did say earlier that it was an indie film, but this one is actually partnered with Universal Pictures. Me don't know how that works, especially with the quality of the film. I think that this film could have been such a classic, such a fucking classic, if the banter and the storyline met and created something beautiful. But the banter and the characters were great, and they were kind of hung out to dry by having a lackluster kind of story. So because it is so half-half with me, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, because as I said, half of it loved, half of it hated, so that seems fair to me. For scare, I'm gonna give it a 2, and for originality, I'm gonna give it a 2. If you want to check out Boar, by all means do. I hope you understand Aussie lingo, because otherwise you might be a little bit confused. But let me know down below if you want to see this one, or if you have, and what you thought of it, especially you Aussies out there. For all those who support me, I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.